going on, Packers fans? Aaron Nagler here with some gut reactions after the Packers' 28-21 victory over the Chicago Bears. Round one goes to the Packers. And yes, as we've talked about all week, and we heard plenty of times in the post-game presser, seeing these guys again in a couple of weeks is kind of odd. Obviously, a scheduling quirk. Don't face them until week 14, and then you face them twice in 3 weeks. It's a little crazy, but I'll take it today, baby. The Green Bay Packers took a bit to take control of the game, but took control they did. Then, yes, they let the Bears back in it there in the second half. Shout out to Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, and crew because they did the work needed to get done in the second half to make this a game. Really felt like the Packers got caught trying to go for the kill shot there coming out of the half, dial up a deep shot there, first play of the second half, and that put them essentially where they didn't need to be. And the Bears took advantage of the opportunities they had in the second half. But ultimately, the Packers did enough on offense and then shut the door with a Keyshawn Nixon interception in the end zone. Absolutely love the game of football and the chance for redemption for guys like Nixon, who I know everyone's going to look at the penalty, although there's certainly context there. And then you also look at a couple other plays where Nixon probably would have liked to have back, would have liked to have been better. But then to shut the door on the Bears' comeback attempt, a play that Ben Johnson looked like the same kind of play that he ran against the Eagles, which essentially won that game for them. Great job by Nixon. It looks like he peels off the guy he's supposed to be covering to pick off Caleb Williams to win the game. Jordan Love and company on offense, absolutely explosive at times, though it did feel, again, like they were maybe hunting and pecking for a kill shot that never really arrived. But when push came to shove, it was time for brass tacks. Packers marched down the field and got the go-ahead score, essentially to win the game. That's what you love to see. And, of course, on the defensive side of the ball, the Packers completely dominated the Bears out of the gate early on in the contest. First half, I think the Bears went into the halftime with Caleb Williams' passer rating at 50, just over 50.6, something like that. There was just nothing working for the Bears on the ground or through the air. But yes, hats off to Ben Johnson, who made the necessary adjustments. Though I will also say it was curious to see the approach from Jeff Hafley throughout much of the second half. I understand they were getting ahead of the sticks and kind of controlling down and distance, but it never felt like Hafley tried to dictate anything and was content to sit back, let them drive, and, at some point, maybe have a guy make a play. Maybe they make a mistake. 18-play drive at one point, I think. Eating up time of possession, keeping the Packers offense on the field. That's what we talked about all week coming into this game. Suspected that's how the Bears would try to play it. I think they kind of outsmarted themselves coming into Lambeau. And, all week long, all we heard about was the Bears running attack. And the Bears are going to run the ball. And they tried to say, hey, you're expecting the run. We're going to throw it. Except Caleb Williams couldn't hit the broadside of a barn early on. And they kept having to punt, and that allowed the Packers to build a lead. And I just, I do think that this is a great kind of window into the kind of battles we're probably going to be looking forward to here over the course of Ben Johnson's tenure in Chicago. And speaking of Ben Johnson, the post-game handshake between LaFleur and Ben Johnson, absolute cinema. The shortest, most terse handshake you could possibly ask for. Not quite the level of the Mike Zimmer handshake back in the day, but certainly similar. Absolutely love it. Round 2 coming in a couple weeks, but tonight, this week, you get to revel in it, get to marinate in all these Bears fans who've been talking mad shit for a team that ain't done nothing. I love the fact that we get to sit here for the next 2 weeks. And look, we know it's not going to last 2 weeks, right? They're going to lick their wounds today. We're going to pull out all the bookmarks. We're going to say, hey, remember when you thought you were going to win this game and you didn't? That's going to last for probably less than 24 hours. And then Bears fans go, just wait till we're in Soldier Field. That's coming sooner rather than later. So enjoy it tonight. Absolutely love to see it. And yes, the Bears still suck. What's going on, people? What's happening in the comments section? Good to see everyone chiming in already. Wow, lots of folks up in here. What's going on, Matthew? Thanks so much for the support. So 13-3-1 whilst beating Rodgers in the Super Bowl. Go Pack, go. All right. Let's slow down. Let's go beat the Broncos first. But I like where your head's at. I'm certainly down with that. I was saying make them pass all game. The problem is they were certainly able to move the ball through both the run and the pass throughout much of that second half. Caleb Williams, you got to give him a shout out for his escapability in the pocket, and specifically later in the game, he was making some really nice throws outside the pocket on the run, what have you. There was one, the first touchdown he threw, where I mean, it legit goes right through Keyshawn Nixon's hands. I don't know how Keyshawn doesn't have an interception there, but yeah, he did a really wonderful job, especially escaping out to his right. Took a couple tries, but Rashawn Gary finally kept contain on one of those. But yeah, man, that's a really talented quarterback. No question about it. Michael, thanks for the super chat. Is Matt LaFleur still on the hot seat? Whoa! Boom. I mean, I don't know. I guess you have to ask all the folks who thought he was. And who knows, man? Who knows what people will come up and drum up, try and make into a narrative next when it comes to Matt LaFleur. But yeah, possibly. FMCH, how are you, man? Can we please force Caleb to his left in 2 weeks? Not a bad idea. Seems like every time he went to his left, he wanted to run, and every time he went to his right, he wanted to pass. No question about it. Patrick, thank you, sir. First, it was a fumble. Second, it was a catch. Figuring out how to use Luke Musgrave felt like today was a good play, better than ref win. Thankful. Go Pack Go. A lot going on there in that super chat. Yeah, the Musgrave thing was very, very close. I understand why they called it a incompletion. I thought for sure, I've watched plenty of NFL games where that would have been called a catch, and it did feel like anytime there was a moment or a possibility that the officials could put their thumb down on the Bears side, it sure felt like that's the way it went. I mean, there were some egregious non-calls of Micah Parsons throughout this game, as there pretty much is every week. But, man, it was pretty blindingly obvious today, and it's got to be frustrating. I know there was a clip of Parsons jawing at one of the refs at one point, and I understand the frustration. I totally get it. But, yes, as far as Luke Musgrave goes, yeah, that's how you should utilize him. And I thought they did a great job early in the game, though they seemed to get away from it in the second half. But, yeah, early on, certainly trying to utilize him downfield a little bit more. We've been talking about it for weeks. That is absolutely his bread and butter and where he should be used. Joe, what's up, man? Josh Jacobs was epic on the winning TD drive. Oh, my God. The pitch play on 3rd and 1, when he gets out to the edge and just plants his foot in the ground and gets upfield, and I think ends up with a gain of like 20 yards. That's one of, maybe not the play, but one of the plays of the game. I thought for sure the Bears had that all snuffed out. Thought we were going to have to maybe go for it on 4th down, and all of a sudden they're cooking with gas inside the 10 after a 20-yard gain. Just a great play by Jacobs. And to your point, he was great that entire drive. I thought he did really, really strong work all game long, where sometimes not a whole lot to operate with up front from the blocking standpoint, but all he does is gain yardage. It doesn't matter what's there, what's blocked. He's going to gain yards. He's going to make sure that you have a positive kind of, a positive play regardless of whatever happens up front. That is somewhat invaluable, no doubt about it. Jerome, the Bears still suck. You are 100% correct, sir. Laura, thank you for the super chat. So excited. Hopefully this shuts up all the annoying Bears still suck fans. Can't wait to walk into the office tomorrow. Yes. Especially if you're working with Bears fans. Oh, tomorrow's beautiful. Tomorrow's gorgeous. And like I said, they'll make excuses today, and then tomorrow it'll be, oh, just wait till you get to Soldier Field. That's coming. That check is in the mail. I guarantee it. FMCH, what's going on, man? So you're saying if we use Musgrave properly, also that was a completed catch. FU refs. See, the Musgrave thing didn't bother me as much. It's inconsistent from game to game and crew to crew. That one didn't bother me. Like, I understood that one. The one I didn't get was where Evan Williams should have had an interception, where the ball clearly never touches the ground, and he ends up with control and possession, and they called it incomplete. Like, how is it incomplete if it never hits the ground? Someone ended up with the football. Evan Williams is the one who ended up with the football. That one drove me insane. E4, what's up? Never any doubt. Total domination first half. What a game. I mean, here's the thing. Like as frustrating as that second half was, when the Packers needed it, they had to drive and get the touchdown. They got it. And when they needed to close the door, last play of the game on 4th and 1, they did it. That's what winners do, baby. No. Mimsy, what's up? Past time for Green Bay to get fined over Micah's whistle. Or, I suspect you mean lack of a whistle. I mean, Matt was asked about it. I think Andy asked him like very first question in the post-game presser. And that's about as terse as I've heard Matt regarding the lack of holding calls, the fact that it's very clear. There are a few that are egregious and they're not getting flagged. Yeah, it's mind-numbing. And I do think, like I said, that was about as negative as Matt's been about the officiating, talking about how he doesn't know what a hold is anymore if that's not a hold, right? He's going to skirt the line. The Packers are going to skirt the line. But I hear you, man. It is, shit. We've been talking about it since week 3. It's absurd. And it happens literally every week. And it happened repeatedly today. Don Bennett, thank you so much for joining the Carry the G Club. Really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Nash, what's going on, man? Bears Twitter is in shambles right now. Loves the GOAT. Jacobs is the man. And the Bears still suck for 2 weeks. Let's go. Dude, Bears Twitter is burning to the ground. You absolutely love it. Love to see it. Chris Steist, what's up? Fucking go, Pack, go. You see, you got all of that one. I like it. Neil Flynn, what's up, man? This is a reminder to the Bears and their fans that Ben Johnson is 0-1 against the Packers as a head coach. He's not going to enjoy beating Matt LaFleur twice this year, is he? Funny how that works. Talked all that shit, took off his fucking shirt last week, only to take a big fat L. 0-1 since taking off his shirt, by the way. Keep track of that. Ben Johnson. Eat it, buddy. Simitovich, what's up? Chicago Sports Radio tonight. Chef's kiss. Go, Pack, go. Dude, let's crack one open for Bears Radio tonight. I guarantee you, though, there will be a lot of moral victories being talked about on Chicago radio tonight. I guarantee it. Oh, we came back in the second half. Oh, they're going to be nervous. They're going to be scared coming into Soldier Field. Like, that is coming. That you listen tonight, you're going to hear a lot of moral victories from Bears fans on Bears radio tonight. That is happening. PhD, what's up? Everyone together now. Bears still suck. Yes, it's a song that will never leave us. Phenomenal. Moon Gloom, phenomenal point, man. From 1-5 to 4-0 in division play. Let's go. So important. A monster turnaround. I mean, and we all know without the block kick at the end of the Bears game last year in Soldier Field, they're 0-6, right? And the fact that they're 4-0 now, outstanding. Take control of the division. That's what we talked about all offseason. Enough of this getting in as a 7th seed, getting in there, talking about, oh, they're the youngest team. They're still making the playoffs. That's over. The time was now. Brian Gutekunst said, time to get back to competing for championships. You do that first by winning your division. And the Packers have taken control of the division after this victory. 4-0, undefeated in the division. That's how it's done. I'll also say, it was bitter cold today in Green Bay, and the Packers still were able to operate on offense any way they wanted. They didn't just go into a shell and, play 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Jordan Love was slinging it. And that bodes well for a team that hopefully will be hosting a playoff game, maybe 2, who knows. But that is a really encouraging sign because you're going to have to do that if you want to make Lambeau a problem for people. And Jordan certainly seemed more than capable of it today. Danny G, what's up? The Bears indeed still suck. Ben Johnson can keep that shirt on and his mouth shut. We still own you, Lieutenant Dan. What's up, Lieutenant Dan? So good to see it. So good to see it, buddy. I absolutely love it. Don Vito just talked about it, man. Not to be that fan, but can Micah get a holding call? No. The answer is no. I don't know what to tell you at this point. I mean, I've literally been talking about this since week 3. Nope. The answer is a resounding no from the NFL. Gatchet, what's going on? That is the tastiest crow I have ever had, referring to Nixon, Nags, but damn, I love football and this team. That's why football is the greatest game, Lord, you look online and everyone's ready to cut him and they're throwing up their hands in disgust and blah, blah, blah. And then the guy just saves the game. That's why football is amazing. Every down is an opportunity for redemption. If you've had a bad game, if you've made some bad plays, if you've been taken advantage of, the next play can be your redemption. It just turned out the last play of the game was Keyshawn Nixon's redemption. Love it. Ryan, what's up? I only enjoy living in Chicago when the Packers have won the last rivalry game. Go Pack Go, random Packer. Keith Woodside, outstanding pull. I got to admit, I think through all the years of random Packers, it might be the first Keith Woodside we've had. Well done, man. Excellent. Albert, what's up? KN25 redemption arc. That's what I'm talking about, man. It's the best. It's the absolute best. Doug, what's up? Was it me? Ben Johnson seemed salty after the game. Oh, is he salty? Oh, no. Did he lose? Man, I don't give a fuck about Ben Johnson. He can eat all the crow and deal with having to get this team ready for his whatever game they have next week. Man, I'm just happy the Packers won. Yeah, he probably was salty. I don't care, man. Came into Lambeau and took the L, the first of many. Screw him, man. Haverzak, what's up, man? Shout out Matt LaFleur. I thought he would button it up after that INT, and he proved me wrong. And he went out and called plays like he trusted his guys. Go, Pack, go. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, as far as the whole offense was on display, there was never a moment of, it feels like they're going to turtle, right? They were continuing to utilize everything in the playbook. And to your point, I could have understood if he thought, okay, maybe it's not that kind of day, but it was a pretty specific, there's a context there as far as I think it's 3rd and 15 when Love throws that interception. He's trying to push it. He's trying to make a play. He admitted it after the game. It's a bad read, bad decision. But yeah, LaFleur clearly trusted Jordan throughout this game, and Jordan delivered again and again and again. Absolutely love it. She said, Fanatic, what's going on, man? Watch this at Will's Northwood Inn. Nothing better than watching Bears fans to leave in silence. Man, shout out Will's Northwoods. They carry the G there. Salut. And I'll never forget being there the night before the NFC Championship game with Corey back in the day. Outstanding spot. Love it. Josh, what's going on, man? Why rip the Bears' hearts out when they do it on their own? Go Pack Go and Bears still suck. Time for Carry the G. Cheers. Perfect super chat. You got it all in. Absolutely love it. Alex, thank you, sir. Bears still suck. What a game. What a win. Go Pack Go. Expertly stated. High-level stuff right there. William, how are you, sir? 3 and outs in the second half will really change the game. We just maintain one of those drives, it's a different game. Fuck the Bears. 1,000,000,000%. Because for all the stuff that, Ben Johnson and the Bears offense was able to kind of, cobble together and keep time of possession, long drive, touchdown, etc. Yeah, if the Packers just possess the ball, and that's why the second 3 and out was to me the more kind of frustrating one, because he being Jordan, takes that shot up the right sideline to Dobbs. I think it was on a second down. It just feels like such a low percentage play when you definitely needed to possess the ball and give your defense some rest. That's hopefully something that, they get into a better groove about. But I do think both coach and quarterback, you live by the big play, you die by the big play sometimes. And it felt like they were trying to manufacture a big play for a kill shot there at the start of the second half. And they never really got on track until the fourth quarter when they needed that touchdown drive. But that said, you can also, sit back and look at it the other way and say, well, look, they hit a bunch of big plays early in the or throughout the first half that gave them the lead, put them in command of the game, right? So I understand the desire there, but yeah, the 3 and outs really hurt them. They should have had way more control of the game than they did in the second half, which would have allowed Halfley and Parsons and company to get after Williams a little more pressure. But you could tell because of the fact that the Bears were able to stay ahead of the sticks and it was only a one-score game, or became a one-score game, it allowed Ben Johnson free reign throughout his entire playbook. And that meant Halfley had to stay somewhat cautious. He couldn't ever really get after Caleb. But, ultimately, they found when they needed a drive, they needed a touchdown. They found the exact formula, and they found a way to get it done. Absolutely love it. Brian, what's up? Good, better, best. Guess you won't be saying that shit in the visitor locker room. Go back to Chicago. Bum. RCS, what's up? I watched that with Bears fans. Chef's kiss. Outstanding. Danny G, what's up? Gary has to be hurt because yikes. No, I don't agree with that. I think there were certainly opportunities for him to make plays in the game, but he also did a nice job at times. I think when he got, sucked inside and Caleb Williams gets outside and breaks contain, makes plays, man, that's just a quarterback that's really super talented. But there were certainly plenty of plays that Gary was very good on and did his job. Like, I understand it's frustrating when they make a play or their guy looks good, but that didn't mean that Gary had a terrible game. He had some bad plays, no doubt about it, but I think pretty much everybody on defense took turns in that regard. Simon, what's up? Great win, Nags, but if Jordan has a game ender like that, it's a national media witch hunt. Caleb, though, he's really improving. Well, yeah, but he's only in his second year as a starter. Like, I get it. Look, if I'm the Bears, I'm much more concerned about so many misses early in that game. He had open dudes. He just couldn't hit them. But much like he has throughout this season, second half comes along, and all of a sudden he's got, laser guided missiles as a passer. Like, it's crazy. And he's done that all season. Like, second half comes along, he just dials in. Except today, save for the last play. Mason, what's going on? What did we learn tonight that will help us in 2 weeks? And that was a catch. The Bears still suck. Well, certainly you're going to be looking at that second half tape quite a bit if you're Jeff Halfley. Now, again, some of it is contextual, and you don't completely overreact, but they were really doing a nice job of staying in the head of sticks on early downs and giving Caleb lots of different kind of opportunities in second and short to move the sticks. I do think maybe possibly Halfley has, a few more tricks up his sleeve, so to speak. He certainly seemed to have a few more pressure looks early in the game than he did later, but I think a big component is going to be, trying to do a much better job on first down against the Bears the second time these two teams meet. Austin, what's up? Nags, thank goodness we didn't trade Kingsley. Came up big when a play was needed. Absolutely. A couple of times. You have a big sack, which was created by Parsons. You had a big third down stop. Excellent work in the A gap. Like, yeah, that dude is a baller. Absolutely. Abdullah, what's going on, man? Hey, Aaron, should 55 be starting over 52? Not necessarily. I think they can certainly continue to rotate, and I think they will. But yeah, starter, doesn't matter. What really matters is snap counts, and it looked like Enigbari had plenty today. Yankees, thank you so much for being a Care of the G Club member. Thanks for the support. Really, really appreciate it. The Short Diabetic, thank you for the support. The last few weeks have had a big fight feel to them. So impressed with how they have handled the division opponents so far this year. Absolutely. Coming off a monster nationally televised Thanksgiving win to this game, which I think was in every market except for LA, or one part of LA and Arizona because of the Rams-Cardinals game. I mean, that was a big stage, and they absolutely delivered. No doubt about it. Hey, E4, what's up? There is pizza, and then there is pizza after beating the Bears. Funnily enough, I'm having a helping of spaghetti and meatballs that my girlfriend made that is waiting for me on the other side of this wall that I had a little bit of before I went live. So I'm right there with you, brother. It tastes so much sweeter after a win. Johnny Rivers, how are you, sir? Thanks so much for the support. I don't think I got over watching the Bears come into Lambeau and leave with a win last season until that interception. The world feels right tonight. Yeah, especially the way that Bears fans really kind of held on to that. Caleb Williams hasn't lost in Lambeau. Well, now he has in a game where Jordan Love actually played the entire contest. And the Packers didn't take their foot off the brakes or a foot off the gas and actually played 4 quarters. He took an L. And by the way, he is the one who made the big mistake in the end. Hold the L, Caleb Williams. Yankees, thanks so much. What's up with Golden and Dobbs? Did Hobbs play tonight? Hobbs did play. A couple of times I called him out on the watch party. Seemed to hold up okay. They had him in the slot a couple times. Nothing's up with Golden and Dobbs. I don't know why people keep asking these things. And I'm not trying to single you out, man. But, sometimes people are going to come up and get a ton of looks and a ton of opportunities. Other weeks, they're not going to get anything. Look at Wicks. You didn't even mention Wicks. Wicks was the star on Thanksgiving. I don't think he got a target tonight. And now both Wicks and Golden are still dealing with their injuries. Matt mentioned it in the post-game presser. But they were certainly out there at times, running around, trying to get open, etc. Sometimes it's going to be your week in Green Bay, and sometimes it ain't. Now, the one constant is going to be Christian Watson. He is going to get opportunities because he is a special athlete and a special player and knows the system, knows the checks. On the play where Jordan Love hits Watson on the slant, that's a change at the line of scrimmage. Jordan Love makes that call at the line, makes the adjustment, adjusts his route. Watson knows it, hits it, big touchdown. I know we all want that for Golden as well, but Golden hasn't worked in this offense nearly as much as Christian Watson. Do they trust him to be there and get that call and know the adjustment? Right now, probably not. And that's not a knock on Golden. It's just we're fighting for playoff position. You're fighting for first place. You don't want the rookie out there. You want Christian Watson. The time will come for Golden. Dobbs will certainly get targets from time to time. But Christian Watson's the one dude who is special and will get manufactured touches and will get specific situational touches. He's too good not to. Everyone else, it's going to be a week-to-week thing. Oshkeys, what's up, man? Why were the refs so bad tonight? Could Matt have worked them better? It really felt as though there were multiple exceedingly questionable calls tonight. Dude, you cannot tell me that Matt LaFleur didn't work the officials tonight. How many shots do we have of him yelling at the dudes on the sideline, calling over Wolfstad? LaFleur did everything he could. The refs were bad because they're NFL refs. All the refs are bad. There's barely a good crew remaining anymore in the NFL. You just hold on, and you got to overcome it. That is all you can do. Pot Kettle, what's up? Thanks so much for becoming a Care of the G Club member. Really appreciate it. Braden, what's going on, man? Welcome back, Jaden Reed. Big time. The way they utilized him, not quite as much motion as I thought they would, but certainly saw the orbit stuff come back, a bunch of stuff horizontally across the formation. And look, they certainly called his number a couple of times. I think he ended with 4 catches. Hold on, let me take a look here. I know he had 4 targets and 4 catches at one point. Yeah, that's exactly what he ended with for 31 yards. So nice reintroduction to the offense. Certainly see his value. Absolutely understand, can totally feel what he brings to the offense and how much they've missed it over the course of the last couple months. Got to think he's only going to be probably expanded as far as his role in the offense. Steve-O, what's going on, man? Cheers, Nags. Cheers, all. Firing up Victory Luigi's Pizza in 5 minutes. That is a good call. I wish I had some Luigi's Pizza. That's good stuff right there. Keith, how are you, sir? Thanks so much. Is that what they mean by bear down going from 1 to 7? I don't know, man. Bear down's never made much sense to me, but they were certainly down tonight. Here's my handle. Thank you so much for the super chat. Very generous. Thank you. Ben Johnson talked shit and then lost and couldn't eat his own words. That's funny as hell. Talk your shit now, bum. What can Hafley do to try and stop these drives where the other teams run the ball every play with success? Well, that was the thing. I really thought they were playing pretty soft for much of the second half. Now, sure, you're guarding a lead, right? But it did feel like they were content to let them kind of try to work the entirety of the drive and or go 10, 12, 13 plays. Never really seemed like they were trying to run blitz or trigger the safeties. There were a couple times where they got the safeties after the quarterback, but Caleb Williams made plays. I do think there'll probably be maybe a bit of a different approach next time these two teams meet. But look, they did a phenomenal job in the first half. It's not like the Bears did anything offensively. The second half, Ben Johnson made adjustments. He's a really good coach. As much shit as we want to talk about Ben Johnson, and that's totally understandable, he's a really good play caller. He's one of the best play callers in the league. And he did a phenomenal job in the second half. Sometimes you just tip your cap, man. GB Faithful, what's going on? J-Love picks was like when you hit the wrong pass button in Madden and then hit restart because you're just pissed. Bounce back like a champ. Go Pack. Yeah, like I said, I think earlier this week or last week, I have reached that point with Jordan where when he does throw a pick, I am very surprised. And that did feel very out of character. Really seemed like he forced it. There was nothing there. He had an in cutter, but there was a linebacker underneath. Don't know what he saw, but like you said, he absolutely bounced back in a big way. You love to see it. Porkmaster, what's going on? She said the Bears. She said Chicago. She said Ben Johnson. A lot going on there, buddy. Matt, thank you for the super chat. Man, talk about the ultimate redemption arc for Nixon over the course of 60 minutes. Let's keep the momentum going. Go Pack, go. Yeah, Matt, talked about that at the top. That's why I love the game of football, man. You get an opportunity each and every play to kind of change the narrative. Soder, what's going on, buddy? Love seems to have dialed in the deep ball, looking very good for a guy who sucks. Yeah, absolutely. There was one play, the Dobbs play, that ended up during a 3-and-out series where Dobbs has a step on the dude, and Love, he said it in the post-game presser. He puts it behind, it's a little behind him, and he knows it's got to be out in front of him. But for the most part, you're not wrong, man. That throw to Bo Melton, my God. What a missile. Absolutely love to see it. Daniel, thank you for being a Care the G Club member. Just win, baby. Time traveling interception from December from Doc X. Doc X. But yes, just win. Bob, thank you so much for becoming a Care the G Club member. Really appreciate it. Aware says, we still own you. I mean, he's definitely passed ownership to Jordan Love. No doubt about it. Doug, thank you for becoming a Care the G Club member. Really appreciate it. Joe, what's going on, man? Some really thought 9's extension was a mistake. I said that during the watch party, dude. Imagine if they were going to go into this offseason not knowing if Christian Watson was going to be back next year. The fact that we know he's under contract is so awesome. And you got to think there's a decent chance they probably work out some kind of long-term deal this offseason. I wouldn't be surprised. But yes, one more year, 13 mil is an absolute bargain. Phenomenal signing. Bob, what's going on, man? Always enjoy a win against the Bears. No better feeling in the world. Glad also Reed is back in the lineup. Big difference maker. He really is. And here's the thing. I'm pretty sure he's just kind of scratching the surface on his way back, right? Like coming back from 2 very significant injuries. To see him out there doing what he did today, and no, that's just the start. Exciting stuff. Danny, how are you, man? Shout out J Love. Stared adversity in the face and still dealt. I hope people are appreciating what we are seeing in real time. Lieutenant Dan. Yeah, dude. How about Jordan Love's bounce back there, man? I think he ended the first quarter with like a 50 or 49 quarterback rating. Ended the half with 100 something. Ended the game with 120.7. That's a dude who is not afraid to keep slinging it. Knows that he's made a mistake, but he's not going to back down. He's not going to play afraid. Absolute baller. No doubt. Jim, what's going on, man? Hafley needs a plan for Caleb rolling right. I think there will be a pick opportunity. I'm sure that will materialize in this next game. They'll probably look at their kind of rush package and what they're asking guys to do and be a little more cognizant of it. Certainly hurt them there tonight repeatedly. Ralph, what's going on, man? I would give up some wide receiver for Maulers. We've been missing that for years. Yeah, I mean, I thought if you're talking about offensive linemen, Maulers, like they did a nice job up front at times. Still a bit inconsistent, but there were certainly avenues to run the ball. And I thought on whole, the protection was pretty damn good tonight. Cheeto, what's going on, man? Saw it live. It's real. The glory, the magic, the beauty. Wow. And Corey lives across the street. Oh, by the way, Carry the G is not carried by downtown places. No, most downtown places do not have it. Although, if you go to Hagermeister, downtown Green Bay, they have it. And there's a couple other places. But yeah, it's got to kind of find your spots all along the Green Bay area. Eric, what's up, man? I live in Bears territory and just watched my neighbor across the street storm out of his house and rip the Bears flag down. A nice cherry on top. The only pity is he didn't get video, but that's outstanding. Lieutenant Dan, what's up, man? Sorry for the typo. 2, 3, 4 or more carry the G's in. Dan, never apologize for a typo. It's quite all right. It's the internet. No one expects perfect penmanship. All is well. Albert, how are you, sir? Bears went from number 1 to number 7 in the NFC. Suck it, they are overrated. Go Pack Go. Cheers to all my Packers family. I mean, I echo what Matt said after the game. It really doesn't matter right now. Just keep winning. Just keep beating the team in front of you, and all that stuff will take care of itself. You know, I mean, look at the Bears this week. They were all very excited to be the number 1 seed. Now look where they are. It don't mean a whole hell of a lot until the end of the season. Just keep winning. Pack Daddy, what's up, man? Evan Williams is a flat-out baller. Could not agree more. I've been talking about him a lot over the course of the last 3 or 4 games. There were certainly some plays there I'm sure he would have liked to have finished better. But, man, down in and down out, he is a baller, man. A really good football player. No question. Franzort, what's going on? Breaking news. Spotted on I-41 outside Green Bay. 5 large men in navy blue still holding number 1's neck. I'll also really enjoy beating Ben Johnson twice a year. Go Pack Go. Yeah, man, they held Parsons quite a bit. Hopefully get a better crew down in Chicago, though I'm not holding my breath. Zol, what's going on, man? Does Enigbari get extended? He's outshining 52. I doubt it. They probably draft another guy in the 5th round to do what Enigbari's doing. That would be my guess. But I doubt he gets extended. But never say never. It's possible. Daniel, what's going on? Did it seem like the defense saw that last play coming? Does Nix have clairvoyance, sort of ESPN? Well, no, as I said at the start, I think he's supposed to be guarding a guy below on a crosser and then sees Caleb's eyes and drops back, knowing that that's, again, a very similar play to what they ran against the Eagles. So that could be tape study. Absolutely. I don't know if they flat out knew it was coming, but they certainly recognized some of the action there. And Nixon does a phenomenal job of floating backwards, presumably knowing that Williams is going to take that shot into the end zone. Just a great heads-up play by Keyshawn. Badger Trio, what's going on, man? Thanks for the support. Watson is about to be paid. It's a must. Yeah, like I said earlier, I won't be surprised if he gets a long-term extension this offseason. Yeah, he just changes the whole offense. And just his presence, but certainly his connection with Love, his big play ability, the fact that he could take it to the house on any play. Yeah, he's special. It's what we've always talked about. You know, as frustrating as some of the injuries can be, when he's on the field, it is a whole different ballgame. No doubt about it. Nick, echoing these thoughts. Is it too early to talk Watson extension? Nope. They've got him for 1 year. I suspect they'll lock him up for several more this offseason. GB Faithful, what's up? The refs are honestly undermanned, in my opinion. I feel like they have only a handful of guys trying to really catch everything at full speed. Need more guys. I guess. I mean, sometimes it's just frustrating because they're looking right at the damn thing. That happened in the Lions game where the ref there's a shot from literally right behind the official on the sideline, staring daggers right into Christian Watson's arm being held by the Lions defender. You don't need more guys. You just need the guys that have eyes that are on the field to do their job. I mean, I hear you. It is a fast game and it's a tough gig. I get all that. But, man, some of these are so blazingly obvious. You're like, what is happening? That's the frustration. Abdul, thanks again. What's the strength and weakness of this team 4 weeks away from the playoffs? Well, the strength is they've certainly found their offense. They just put up 28 points in an NFL game, and they did so while still pissing away a bunch of opportunities on the offensive side of the ball. A couple of possessions just wasted, and they're still scoring 28. That's damn impressive. Also on the defense, they can play with anybody. Now, the Bears certainly found their equilibrium in the second half and definitely made it a game. No doubt about that. As far as like weaknesses, you look at the lack of consistency on both sides of the ball, and you can point to that and say, that could be your doom. The fact that so many games come down to, as Matt always says, one play here or there, you never know which play is going to kill you. So they need a bit more consistency, I would say, on both sides of the ball. But ultimately, there ain't a team in the league they can't beat. There ain't a team that you're scared of. They can beat anybody. But their inconsistencies could be the reason they lose a game. And that's the frustrating part. And that's what's got to stop. What else we got here, folks? Simon, what's going on, man? Jordan Love, MVP, still in play. I think we light up Knicks next. Look, the Broncos just keep winning games, man. And you talk about like not having style points and just doing it week in and week out. This is going to be a tough game. That defense at home, that is going to be a tough game. No question about it. Jesus, what's going on, man? Welcome. Reed, he killed it. I'm happy he's back. I think we're all happy Reed's back. Absolutely. Scotty, what's going on, man? Fuck the Bears, but I had a hint of young Aaron when Caleb was rolling to the right, throwing a couple darts. Thoughts? That was some people's comparison when he was coming out. I mean, you see it. The play is out of structure. The stuff when it breaks down, the playmaking ability. Now, the problem is if you're an organization, if you're Ben Johnson, you don't want to live there. That's not a sustainable thing. But certainly, the talent is undeniable. No doubt about it. Ben, what's up? They thought they could beat Big Brother. They did. They're going to continue to pound their chest for another 2 weeks. You know that's coming. Just take care of business. Raha, what's up? I said this earlier. If the Williams play wasn't a fumble, why wasn't it an interception? I don't think any angle showed the ball hitting the ground. Random Packer, Jim McMahon. No, I agree. I literally said this earlier. It never hits the ground. So why is it not an interception? It can't be an incomplete play. It can't be an incomplete pass. It never hits the ground. So how is it incomplete? I'm with you, brother. I'm right there with you. Tom, hell yes. Jacobs extending drives on his own. Big time plays. Repeatedly, dude. I mean, obviously, the biggest one is the pitch to the right, and he just gets through what looked like 3 different Bears defenders for a 20-yard gain on 3rd and 1. Just phenomenal work from Josh Jacobs. Mike Witt, what's going on, man? I thought our run defense was good today. Glad we won, but oh my God, that officiating was terrible. Very one-sided all game. Imagine this offense if we get a healthy Lloyd in a week or two. Scary. Man, I'm not holding out any kind of expectation for Marshawn Lloyd. I mean, I'm very happy he's practicing. But this guy has barely played in the NFL. Now, maybe he goes on a James Starks-esque run here, but I would temper the expectation. Now, that said, if they find consistency on offense, they could have put up 40 today. If they're not pissing away drives in the second half, The offense is playing much better, and that is encouraging. And yeah, the officiating, we don't need to talk about it because it was annoying and they won, and that's what you have to do. When you have bad officiating, you have officiating that's clearly not up to snuff. No one cares. You got to overcome it. Good teams find a way to overcome it, and that's exactly what the Packers did today. Danny boy, what's going on, man? All caps. Here we go. Big fucking win, Nags. That's the first step done. Get the Kings of the North crown back. My man Reed back is huge. Love me some 1 or 11. Go, Pack, go. Why are we yelling? I like it, though, brother. I'm right there with you. Mike Witt, thanks again. I wait to shovel my driveway until after the game. My neighbor, a Bear fan, is shoveling his driveway. We look at each other and he says to me without saying anything, I don't want to talk about it. I suspect that's probably going to be much of the city of Chicago for most of tonight. But then, like I said, starting tomorrow, it'll be, oh, just wait till we get you Soldier Field. That's coming. That is 100% coming. That check is in the mail. All right, everybody, I got to get going. Cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, and after every game right here on the Cheesehead TV YouTube channel and social channels. Please do me a monster favor and hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go Pack Go.